Hello and welcome to episode 4 of Spud Park. In today's episode, I'll be theming up Ragnarok, my Viking themed area in this park. Jumping straight into this episode, I'm now constructing a Chief Beef restaurant by Odin, our Gravity Group family wooden coaster, of which was built in episode 3. I would like to apologise for the large gap between uploads on this channel. I have been quite busy as of late, but fear not, more videos are on the way, including an all-day challenge, of which more details will be revealed later on. I would also like to therefore say that this episode will not complete Ragnarok. There are still some things I need to tweak, install or update, so expect them for episode 5. With the buildings for this area, I really liked the idea of scattering the buildings throughout the pathways with no real sense of order, because I don't think Vikings had seen high streets yet. God, they've really missed out. But now I was constructing a Hats Fantastic as a sort of first thing you see in the area sort of building. And I was sceptical at first because of how it could potentially block our KMG Afterburner Mjolnir. However, I realised that you don't need to see a huge ride in the second you enter an area for true immersion. I would also like to thank you guys for the suggestions you've given me for potential themed areas in my park. The ideas have been great. I know I've seen a Minion suggestion and a sci-fi one as well. I will definitely come round to build these areas in this park or the next, and if you have suggestions for potential themed areas in this series or one in the aforementioned future, comment them below, and also stay tuned till the end for a teaser in regards to an upcoming area here at Spud Park. I will definitely check the comments out, and I look forward to seeing some of your areas in these parks. I understand that in episode 3, I did say that some surprise announcements were happening in this episode, so I'm pleased to announce them now. For starters, I would like to say that this park will not have a lot of thrill attractions. I mean, sure, I will probably have a big thrill coaster, but definitely do not expect this park to be that thrill orientated. An area that is coming up soon will have a family thrill coaster, but nothing over the top. There may be a couple thrilling flat rides, but again, not much thrill focus at all. A second announcement is that the next themed area is going to be sorcery themed. Now, I fell in love with this downloadable content when it got released, so expect a magical town that's out of this world. Anyway, you've been seeing it on screen, but I am incorporating ride photos into this park, and I'm installing the ride photo booth for Odin. For those who are also aware, with the release of the Parades pack, fear not, some of the features will be used from the add-on pack. However, in real time, I am slightly ahead in construction in comparison to what you're seeing now. So, in real time, I am actually planning on how to use it. Next on our itinerary is to begin thematics on the work for the queue line for our Gerslauer Gravity Group Wooden Coaster Odin. I'd start by scaling down the windmill modular centerpiece structure to give off the impression that the windmill is further away than it seemed, with matching scaled down foliage to boot. But to keep the queue line in line? Wow. With the cozy Viking village aesthetic, the large space I left at the foot of the hill would be a wheat field. We're going for Wait, oh my god. Farms have cattle and the queue is cattle pen. Am I a genius? Back to the part thematics that everyone loves is placing plants to section off Ragnarok from other areas via plants. Then, it was only a matter of placing bushes on the Ragnarok side of the fence/hedge and covering the ground, as vast open spaces never look good at theme parks. By the way, if you have enjoyed my videos so far, feel free to check out my other videos too. And if you like them as well, why don't you consider subscribing? It means so much to me if you do subscribe, and I know that sounds cringy and monotonous, but it's true. So thank you for the support. Something I always see Planet Coaster players struggle with is the time it takes to plant down all of the foliage. But with a little bit of perseverance, you can achieve fantastic themed areas. Comment below what you think of this park series so far. Are you excited for the grand finale? Let me know! It then struck me that I needed to install a staff building, so I quickly began work on that. I must also mention that throughout the series, you will probably keep seeing guests in the park, then not. This is for me to test pathways to see if guest flow is not too crowded. I find this a really useful tool to use whilst constructing a park, and it also shows you how the queue works. For example, if you're going to try and set up a pre-show, which might happen in this park, it can also help you time up when the pre-show will run so each group witnesses it. One thing I love is the Viking wooden wall scenery, as they genuinely look stunning and theoretically could be used as a basic wood wall for generic buildings. The finishing touches for this building would consist of the signage you've just seen me install, amongst the regular building decor such as windows, a door, and some plants outside. In fact, during this time, I did decide to have this side of Ragnarok containing buildings that would be closer together. Don't get me wrong, there would still be facilities and shops on the other half over by the entrance to Mjolnir, however, here would be the main focus of the area. You will also see me constantly fencing off areas at all times, as, let's face it, if realism is what we're trying to achieve, you would not see areas without fencing, especially ride areas. Yet another shop that we positioned on this side of Ragnarok would be a Viva la Vegan, because you know, gotta cater for all guests of dietary requirements. This would be one of the larger facility buildings, with it being 1x2 on the 4-metre grid, rather than 1x1 on the 4-metre grid, like the Hats Fantastic I installed previously on this update. One thing I really want to master is the addition of wall trims, as they can make a building look so much better than what they look like without. With this area, I planned it so that even though there will be a lot of buildings around the area, you would still have good views of the two rides in the area itself, be it through gaps between the buildings, or even a matter of being on the other side of a foliage covered area. Again, a shop needs to have adequate signage, so I made sure that you could know what the shop is from every perspective that a guest would need. In a future themed area though, not every building will be able for guests to walk into, but don't worry, they will still have the same, if not better detail than the facilities of which you are seeing on screen now. Once the Viva la Vegan was fully constructed, it was, once again, a matter of putting down the foliage on the outside of the shop, and you can see me placing that in as of right now. I've said it before, and I know this will probably not be the last time of me saying this, but foliage is so important in parks, as it adds so much depth to an area, and makes the area feel much more intimate and immersive. As much as it is tedious and very time consuming, the end result is very much worth it. Going back to the aforementioned idea of having vistas of the attractions over areas of various planted bushes, this was just to surround Mjolnir, as I was well aware that there wasn't any reasonable amount of space for another building in this area. Another tip if you are designing areas of which dense foliage is required is don't be afraid to have variety. Alternate between a lot of different bushes, as you have seen me do, as it adds a lot more texture to the area in itself. I see a lot of Planet Coaster 2 players sometimes use the same bush for an entire area, like Meryl, we get it, you like Flower Bed 4 meter, but how does that theme in with the Finding Nemo area? The final project in episode 4 will be beginning construction on a large modular restaurant. Now I would like to clarify, this is quite a large project, so I made the decision to extend this restaurant's construction into episode 5. With these modular restaurants, you do need a lot of space, so this building ended up being huge. My original plan for this part of the area was actually an indoor roller coaster, however, I decided that this would suit a theme later on in the park's construction, so make sure you subscribe to not miss that. In terms of the restaurant itself, you can see that I was taking my time making sure the pathways extended to the very limits of the walls, and originally I was also going to have some outside seating, but decided against it. Also, due to each restaurant kitchen only being able to register 20 tables, I decided to place in 3 restaurant kitchens so I could house up to 60 tables. In fact, I believe the end result was around 50 to 55 tables. In terms of naming this restaurant, I came up with the name of the Axe and Sword. During the construction of Ragnarok, I drew a lot of inspiration from Valgard Realm of the Vikings from Paulton's Park, as let's face it, that area looks great, and with Serpent's Curse arriving in 2027, that area will only get better. I would like to say once again, I am aware there's been a long delay between uploads, but fear not, I do have many more videos on their way. Now placing the tables in the restaurant, I crammed as much in as possible, but also leaving adequate space for Planet Coaster guests to walk between the tables. The team at Frontier have blessed us with some fantastic free updates as of late, with gift shops, restaurants, and even the recent addition of arcades, etc. All we need now are hotels or some form of accommodation. With all the tables fully installed, it was now my mission to separate the kitchen from the dining area via, you guessed it, more wooden walls. In episode 5, you will see the full restaurant decoration happen for the axe and sword, and I can't believe that we're already nearing the end of this episode. This is so important when building a restaurant for realism. And for our final project in episode 4, we have lighting installation for the axe and sword. Thank you so much for watching and making it this far. If you have laughed or smiled or just enjoyed the video in general, consider subscribing, as it does motivate me to keep making more content like this. And I can't wait to see you in my next video as well. But there is one more surprise announcement for this episode, and I don't think I can really put it into words because, quite frankly, this new announcement is none other than